All
All right.
right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh, by
Hawa,
Hashem,
Bahashem, Yahweh
Yahweh
Shai,
Shai, by Hashem
Bahashem,
Akakwadash.
Kakwadash.
This is Brother Yarack coming back at you through the Spirit, the beloved brother Kunal Wath.
Kanawal.
We're
Shalom, brother.
gonna do another lesson here. It's so-called Indigenous Peoples Day. Well, I guess it's formerly known as Columbus Day. You know, so there was word that Joe Biden the other day he basically passed a law or a decree declaring this Indigenous Peoples Day for the first time. And when me and the brother were just looking up stuff, we found it curious that Esau is basically taking down anything that's in celebration of this guy Christopher Columbus. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and but that just shows that the devil, this place is crumbling. Things are turning against him. You know, and ultimately, this is part of the prophecy that his tongue will fall upon himself. There would be confusion. He would be made bare, naked. You know,
That's right.
so he's trying to cover his skirt back up. Declaring Indigenous Peoples Day and
Yep.
trying to make it seem like, oh, we don't really worship this guy Columbus. But the bro pulled up this article that says why there are still 149 statues of Christopher Columbus in the U.S. You want to go in on it, bro?
Yeah, so I was looking at this little article a little earlier, just picking out points, basically stating that these devils are still pretty proud of their history, man. If I could read, I want to read the first paragraph or so, just skim through it real quick, because like I said, these devils, they right now they're trying to cover up their horns, but they're really not because they still have that sort of pride against you Jakes, man, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like
Mm-hmm.
they want to give you a day, but they still say Happy Indigenous Day and backslash Christopher Columbus Day. You know,
Right.
so it
Yeah.
says why there are still 149 statues of Christopher Columbus in the U.S. All right, I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna skim through it real quick. More than 6,000 places in the U.S. took their name from Christopher Columbus. There's Columbus in Ohio, Indiana, Arkansas, New York, and Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and many other states. Not to mention District of Columbia. There are streets
Yep.
and avenues, traffic circles, and parks, along with lakes, rivers, and mountains, defining features of the nation's civic and natural geography. Back in the day, Columbus was an attractive figure to revolutionaries looking to establish their own distinctly American mythology as they separated from monarchies abroad. Later settlers heralded Columbus as paterfamilias as they pushed westward, embracing him as the guiding spirit of manifest destiny.
Yeah. And that word pater is the same thing as we went to mater last week with the where metropolis is.
Mm,
Pater means father. So pater familias means the father of families, basically.
pretty much.
So here they, how you have the word patriot, right? The word
Yep.
patriot also goes back to father, pater. So patriot really goes back to the founding fathers of this place.
Yep.
And that's what Columbus was to all of the European nations, because the French came over here, the Spanish came over here, the Portuguese came over here, all right, and the English came over here. You had the Dutch and stuff too, but for the most part, um, those are the biggest nations, and we know Christopher Columbus. He came out of the Spanish crown, so he was
Hmm.
known. He was a part of, uh, Queen Ferdinand's, crew. Them with the conquistadors, and so this guy was basically a popular figure, man.
Yeah. And they said, and I'm gonna read on. There are also 149 public monuments to Columbus, which makes him the third most venerated figure amongst the U.S. monuments and memorials, according to a national
Hmm.
audit by Philadelphia-based nonprofit. So only Abraham Lincoln and George Washington enjoyed greater presence in American statuary. That's
Hmm.
that's pretty much a slap in the face, man. Because all those other devils, they had a big part in taking you Jakes down as well.
Right. They sure did, man. Everybody was banking on it, man. Because why? Because this was new land, and they knew that they can take out you Israelites.
Hmm. Because it was prime taken because, like I said, it's the manifest destiny. That's what they call it. But that was
Yeah.
actually the Lord's prophecies coming to pass.
Hmm. Yeah. And the Most High put a heavy demonic spirit on them, man, to do what they did,
Hmm.
man.
Yep.
heavy spirit. But if you read the next article, bro, I mean the next paragraph, I got a precept for that one.
Yet the tide is turning somewhat as Columbus' fame has curdled since the American Indian movement in the 70s. At least 36 public monuments to Columbus have been removed as of this year, consistent with an academic counter movement to reconsider his achievements and buck him from his place in history.
Right. So this is prophesied to happen too. I'll get
Con.
it real quick. You hear Apostle Tahar bring this out sometimes, but this is, I think it's Job 20. Yeah, this is Job 20. I'll start at 9. It says, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place behold him anymore.
Mm.
His children shall seek to please the poor.
Oh, that's the
All right.
spirit. I had that lined up. That's the spirit.
And his, okay, Khan. And his hands shall restore their goods. So what you have is a series of events. And then 1970s, like back here, what bro was talking about, this is around the time of the so-called civil rights movement, where
Yep.
Esau is starting to give you rights back and or give you rights, because he never really gave them to you to begin with. And then there was this whole movement of being, of him basically like reneging on the things that he did,
Mm-hmm.
But what people
Yep.
don't realize is that Esau already won. He already took all the land when you think about it, and he never had any intention of giving that back. So all he did was pacify you.
Yep.
He made you
Keep
think
the.
that he could be trusted, which the scriptures
Yep.
tell you never to trust this guy. He
Oh.
introduced all you women into the workplace around the same time. He said it was. He said we could coexist with niggas. All right, that y'all could use the same water fountains. But all that did was he integrated you into the service class. All right,
Yep.
you were integrated so you can be, coffee shop baristas and bus boys. you know,
Yeah. Pretty much.
because he
The,
needed that.
the emancipation,
Right, right,
transfer of ownership. They just from you
right.
niggas from the plantation to shining shoes in the airport.
Yeah. And what happened to us? He freed the woman on us. The woman
Yep.
doubled the workforce, and when you double the workforce, that basically means the wages get cut in half. All right, because the more workers you have in the workforce, the less that they're going to pay you for a job, man. If there's a job, shoveling shit, and only 10 people want to do it, that job might pay $150,000 because only 10
Mm-hmm.
people want to do it. But if you double it, let's say 20 people want to do it, all of a sudden they don't have to pay as much. So that's basically a similar effect of what happened when they said all the women can come into the workplace. Is they had a bunch of more workers applying for jobs, and because there was such a high demand, all of the wages dropped, man. So this movement that he had that is talking about, where it says his children shall seek to please the poor, that's true, but you got to realize at the very tippy top, at the elites, they had a more sinister plan, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. And who's ahead of these so-called movements is women, is bitches.
Yep,
They're the
con,
ones that's headed these American Indian acts, stuff like that. That I was reading down a little further. It's these women that's heading this shit, man. So they want to keep Esau going with these little indigenous days. They get their little $600 check tax credit through the mail. The goodies that Esau give the women, man.
yeah, con, con,
And
man.
and honestly, it goes with Psalms 83, the crafty counsel, because not only the crafty counsel with uh, the other nations that are our enemy, but also the women.
Yeah, con,
That's a crafty counsel because they like I said, like you said, he was going into the movement. It only really fucked us up because we, as the nation of men, we need our women in order. Without our women not being in order, this is what happens.
mm-hmm,
You
con,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
con.
I even go to it. This Psalms 83,
Yeah, I
and
gotta
I'm
pull it
due
up.
started at 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against the hidden ones. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Like I was talking about, these are the heathen nations, and it's going to go in further. But you can even toss the women in there, man, and the elder,
Right.
even the 2/3,
Yeah, because
because
Esau does this on multiple levels, man. There's like levels to this
hmm
shit. Why? Because one way to cut your nation off is to have confusion in the house, to have women have multiple baby daddies. You don't even know who your kids are, man. You know,
Con.
like women
Yeah,
can just, it's just a free for all. You know,
yeah.
like that's not knowing your identity. Here, you can be black, you could be African American. Just cutting off our identity is enough, right there, to have our people in a deep sleep. You know, you got niggas in consciousness stuff. They're
Oh man.
Egyptians. They're
Oh
five
man, bro.
percenters. They're Moors. They're all these other bullshit that all comes from our name and our heritage being taken away from us, man. You know.
I've seen some. Oh man, that Shaka most nigga, man.
Oh, that
I was
nigga
watching
heavy
him yesterday,
Negro.
man. That nigga, yeah, his son. You should see his son. His son is even worse. And he got lip. That's beside the point, Salakia. But nigga got lip gloss and shit on that. That
Yeah,
Egyptology bullshit, man.
yeah, nigga. Them niggas gonna break out of prison in these last days, and they gonna grab niggas like that up.
Yeah, easy.
You know what I'm saying? Them
But yeah,
Tyrone niggas in them
con.
Tyrone spirits. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna start
Bro.
at 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Like I said, you just lump them niggas in with it, man. Because they
Mm-hmm.
all about this. They all about the vain and glory of this society. They want to keep it running. All
Right.
right, that's all I got on that, bro.
Yeah, con. But if you go on verse 6 here, it tells you this.
Yeah, the
This
names.
coincides with America too, because the first one they announces is Edom, right? Which we all know that's Christopher Columbus. But the rest of you nations who came over here in droves after Esau did, you
Oh,
Ishmaelites, you
Ishmael, the
Moabites,
Gooks.
you know, all the rest of you nations. You know, I forget who the Hagarenes go back to, but
I
you
believe
got Gabal and
that's I believe that's uh fucking dirty ass Africans.
okay, yeah,
Could be.
it sounds like it could be a Hamite.
Yeah.
Gabal, you had Ammon. We know Ammon's over here, and we know Amalek has been over here.
Oh, all
He won
day.
all the damn slave ships. You know,
He financed the whole thing.
financed the whole goddamn thing. The East India Dutch Company. You know, it says the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Because how did we get over here? You fucking dusty ass Hamites
Yep.
cut deals
They
with Esau for rum, man, for guns and alcohol and fucking wheat and shit, man. You niggas are stupid, man. Low level, man.
con, bro.
God damn. That's why the Most High is gonna fuck you nations up, man. That
That's
shit
right.
pissed me off, man.
Yeah. 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 You're right, bro.
You know, I
Even
want to put
these
hands on some of them Hamites more than I do Esau sometimes, bro. Cause like
some yeah.
you
Ham is getting a
dirty
second,
ass
man.
niggas, man.
The ham is definitely on my top, man.
Yeah, con, bro.
But
Con,
I want to finish reading up on this.
con.
This is even going to the atrocities that the argument get Isaiah 47 and 3 after this. Yet even in his own time, Columbus was a polarizing figure. The 16th century Dominican priest Bartholomew de las Casas, who accompanied Columbus on his third voyage, extensively documented the atrocities committed by Columbus and other conquerors against the Taino peoples in Haiti, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic. Crimes that he witnessed firsthand. So horrific was Columbus' governorship of Hispaniola that he was shipped back to Spain in irons. Damn. Stripped of his titles and imprisoned for several weeks. His death in Valladolid, Spain in 1506 led to the first ever European reckoning of colonization known as the Valladolid debate in 1550. So these dudes were recording the atrocities that was done unto our people, the so-called Native American and Hispanics and some of
Man.
yeah,
So
like
he was basically a demon, a torturing demon, man.
yeah,
Pre-
they said he couldn't put his he done so much killing he couldn't put his sword down at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what you call
Damn.
a psychopath, man. You know, a psychopath they you know they literally get boners from cutting people open, man. You know, there's just a special demon on them for that that's just designed to kill. That was Christopher Columbus, man. And you would have to have that kind of fucking track record, man. God damn, even for Esau, you like damn.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
He
Esau
does.
had to round his ass back up. Like, yo, hold up.
Yeah, you trying to you about to have a revolt because that's what happened eventually in Haiti. You know, there's only so far you can push your people before they revolt. You know,
Hmm.
if they think they're gonna be getting tortured all the time, you know, they'll say fuck it, we got nothing else to lose. And that's what happened on the island of Haiti when they revolted against the French. They were like, fuck this shit, we ain't got nothing to lose. You know, and that
But
becomes a
the scriptures,
liability. You know,
but the Most High had it happen that way because of the fury of the wrath that, well, of the anger that we've done unto the Heavenly Father. You know, the scriptures tell you, in Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 28, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the
strokes.
time of
Yeah,
destruction. They
right.
pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So
Yep.
the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai had made Christopher Columbus
Put that
into a
spirit on
killing spirit.
him. That's right. Because the Spanish, they just wanted to go over here and get paid. They wanted to take our land, of course, but you have to ask yourself, why did the Most High allow that nigga to be the one lead the charge? Because that nigga had a special demon on him for judgment, you know.
Yep.
So you know, he man, bro, that's heavy, man. Shit. Let's see me. I'm gonna try to get this second edges real quick, just to kind of prove who these people were. Um, let's see.
You already know the spirit always allows us to go over time too, which we're gonna try not to, but
We're gonna
but the spirit just be
try.
on, brothers, man.
Con, man. I'll go through this real quick. It says, I'll read it. Second Ezra 13 and 40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of the king of their own land in the time of Osei the king. Now, this is talking about a vision that Ezra just saw earlier, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. So that was basically talking about how the northern kingdom got over here from the Assyrian captivity. You
Mm.
know, now you had northern kingdom scattered still left in Israel, but the vast majority of the northern kingdom they went over what it says here. Salakia. It says uh over the waters, Salakia. So over the
Hmm.
waters means over the Atlantic Ocean, you know. And so they
Yep.
came into another land. It says, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. So
Mankind
that
dwelt.
basically proves this wasn't in India, this wasn't in Europe or North Africa or anything. They came to an area that wasn't inhabited, you know, since before the flood. Um, so where never mankind dwelt. So nobody was over there, basically. It says that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered by the Euphrates in the narrow places of the river, where the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Mm.
All right, because
So
if you know
he
anything
got it though.
about right, so if you know anything about hurricane season, the hurricanes come basically from the west coast of Africa, and they travel across the Atlantic up into like the Gulf of Mexico around, uh, Cuba, the Bahamas, that area. You know, it says for through that country there was a great way to go. So this is talking about a different continent, man. All right, so that's
Hmm.
how we know this is Northern Kingdom. These were Israelites, namely of a year and a half. And for the account of that, you can read the account of King
Of
Solomon of how
yep,
long
King
it took.
Solomon.
You know,
Yep.
scriptures say every 3 years he rejoiced because it would take a year and a half to come to America and then another year and a half to come back. And they would come back with tons and tons of gold and cedar and incense and peacocks and
And Peacock.
exotic
Yep.
animals and, you know, all types of
And
shit, man.
those were the Canaanites that was a part of that navy. They was
Right.
heading that navy of King Solomon's navy. And that's why
Con.
you got Canada, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um it's another one in Canaan, and I think it's in Connecticut somewhere, but you get the point.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had Canaan over here too. some people believe the Olmecs that were over here were the Canaanites. You had the Mayans and stuff, right? Which we all know were Israelites, but you had the Olmecs. They were a big nation over here too, and they were weird as fuck, you know. You know, so these could have very well been the Canaanites that were over here along with us. And you got to ask yourself, how did the Northern Kingdom get so heavy? If the scriptures say they came over here to keep the laws that they didn't keep in their own land, how did they get back into idol worship? Because Canaan was over there. The same thing we did the first time. We came into the land of Canaan. The Most High told us to kill all the Canaanites, kill all their idols, burn everything. And what did we do? We was hard-headed.
Taking garments and shit.
Yep, hard-headed. And before you know it, we was out there in the idol worship again, you know? And then the Most High had to send the Assyrians. Then we did it again. The Most High had to send, you know, he had to send the Babylonians. And then, you know.
Yeah, there it is.
So this is proof that these were the Israelites, man. And why did, like the bro said earlier, why did such a demon come over here, man? A guy that level of a psychopath would be sent over there to rule over us, man.
Yeah,
you know.
So I goes to tell you how Basham Yashai was
Khan, bro. That's a curse, man. This guy coming over here, you know. So yeah, Khan. I just all I wanted to bring out on that. Let me see. You had anything else on this article, Lock?
No, that was pretty good. I wanted. That's what I really wanted off of it.
Okay, Khan. So I want to bring this out real quick. I ain't even got to read this other article. We already know that 95%. Let me just read this real part real quick. It says Smithsonian recorded an estimated in 130 years following first contact, Native America lost 95% of its population. Immediately after the explorers turned settlers into the Western Hemisphere, the indigenous people experienced slavery and had their resources infringed upon. All right. So immediately, all right. So we know what this devil did, man. This article here, it says that European colonization of the Americas killed 10% of the world population and caused global cooling. That's how many Northern Kingdom Israelites he killed, man. All right. It says while Europe was in the early days of the Renaissance, so we know this is the Renaissance when this guy came back, and I'll get the precept on that. There were empires in the Americas sustaining more than 60 million people. So that word Renaissance is key because I want to bring up this Malachi 1 real quick. This is Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build it, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So this guy was in that same spirit that I'm going to rebuild the desolate places. Because when you come back over here, what did he build over here in the Americas, man? You know, look at Roman architecture.
There it is. A whole bunch of bullshit. With opulence, a bunch of penis worshiping.
Right. So this is the Roman architecture, right? So when you look at the White House, the Capitol Hill, all of these buildings, what does it look like? It looks just like this. This is Rome all over again. So this is when the scriptures say he's going to rebuild the desolate places. This is it. And I'll even go further, man, with Petra. Salakia. Petra, if you know what Petra is, that's in actually the land of Edom. Which modern day Jordan, but this is the land of Edom. Look at Petra, man. You know? And if you look closely up on some of these images, one reason we know Esau is all of these people. I don't know if it's going to show it here, but Salakia.
Talking about the habitation is high.
Yeah, I don't know if I can show a good picture of it. But on here, one of these images, well, it's on this image here, but I don't know if you can zoom in enough to see it. But up here, there's there's 5 eagles right here. You can see the 3 in the middle.
Oh,
they're in pretty good shape. The 2 on the right got knocked off. But if you
the
get a
scripture right
good,
now.
yeah, you get a good picture of it. Yeah, you see it right here. That's a eagle with his head knocked off. That's an eagle. So in the scriptures, you have something called the 5 dukes of Edom, you know. And so that's that eagle. So who did he come back as? The Greeks had a symbol of the eagle. The Romans had a signal of the eagle. And we know America does.
Yep.
And
This
this
is
same
Obadiah
architecture.
chapter.
Yeah. Khan, go ahead.
Obadiah verse 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Yep.
There it is. You devils like rock climbing, love living in a 200-story building of a fucking high rise.
Yep.
You pretty much, you devils are sought out, man.
Yeah. Khan. And that's how we know who you are, man, you know.
Yep.
And you got what's coming to you, you know.
Yep.
So I just got one last precept unless you want to bring anything else out on this.
Oh, you got that Habakkuk?
Yeah, I do. Khan. Want me to bring it out?
Oh, that's on you, big bro.
Okay, Khan. This is Habakkuk 1:6. It says, "For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs."
And that goes. Yeah. Slocky.
Go ahead.
That goes hand in hand with how what's his face in Maccabees? You know what I'm talking. Goddamn Alexander the Great. That's how he's taking nations. That's how another way we can find out who you devils are through prophecy, man.
Yeah,
everything lines up perfectly.
Yeah, Khan. Because the through the spirit, Amalek became the leader of the Edomite nation. You know, Amalek was the grandson of Esau himself, and over time, the scriptures. Well, actually, I believe that's in 24. Yeah. Numbers 24 and 20, it says, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
That is a fire scripture.
So Amalek got put above. That's why these so-called, JOOs, they're running it. Even you regular Edomites, man, they run y'all. They don't give a damn about you because this man doesn't know how to rule. He doesn't have any kind of
run y'all to the ground.
Right. Khan. And the Amalek was specifically talking about Alexander the Great, what bro was saying, because we can point the house of the Amalekites back to the Macedonians, and that's who Philip was. That's who Alexander was. Not to digress too much, but this is Habakkuk 1:7. It says, "They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves."
Damn.
Who else could that be?
Yeah.
Who else has covered this much ground, man? Y'all across all of these continents. Y'all in Europe, North America, South Africa, Australia. This is talking about nobody but one person. It says their horses are also swifter than the leopards and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from afar. Damn. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat. All right. So all of this allegory, this is pointing straight to you, Esau. Why? Because
all this
taking out
that's crazy.
And it says in 130 years, right here, you took out 95%.
Man. So this nigga was on a killing spree, man.
Right. In the dwelling places that are not theirs. So who else is this talking about? You damn devils.
That's heavy.
It says, verse 9, they shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. Where else did we all come back together and become captive?
I tell
We
you,
haven't. Judah,
Jeremiah.
right? So Judah, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, we were
I've been
separated
oppressed together.
until Esau.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
came together and gathered us together in the same captivity as the sand. You
And
know,
that's prophecy.
that's it, man. That's it. It says, and they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto the Most High. Art thou not from everlasting, O Lord, my power, mine holy one? We shall not die, O Lord Jehovah. Thou hast ordained them for judgment, and Almighty power, thou hast established them for correction. So you niggas were going off. All right. You see this? Where's that Northern Kingdom? These people, we were all into idol worship, man. All right. But the Most High is not gonna suffer y'all to go through that anymore, you know. It says, verse 13, thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest thy tongue when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he. All right.
Damn.
So this is Esau taking over. This is the wicked oppressing the righteous, man.
That's right.
All right. It says, verse 14, and makest the men as fishes of the sea, as the creeping things that have no ruler over them. All right. Because when they went into West Africa, man, that's basically what it was. It was like casting a net. They were grabbing us, kidnapping us out of if we were running in the jungles from Ham, you know, Ham ratting us out and corralling us into Esau onto these boats, man, these ships. And the last verse I'll get, it says, they take up all of them with the angle, they catch them in their net and gather them in their drag. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. All right. So that represents Esau coming over here, capturing both of us, really, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. And this guy, Christopher Columbus, he led the way of that, man. And not only did he lead the way of that, but he was celebrated for it, you know. So he not only, all good. He not only led the way of that, but he was celebrated for it, you know. So you got a lot to pay for, man, you know.
Yeah.
And there's more in Habakkuk too, but we already we did 32 minutes already. Shit.
Yeah, it's like shit goes fast.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah,
But
you both can read Habakkuk 2 as well to see the rest of this devil, you know. I think it was verse. Habakkuk 2 and 12. Woe to him that buildeth the town with
blood, and establish a city by iniquity.
This whole what is America Esau, called? Man. The city of confusion.
Yep.
Babylon the Great. You know, this is a giant city. If you're the word citizen goes back to a dweller of a city. You know, so an American citizen is basically the same. Is saying, you know, that it's a city. You know, even though, you know, Esau has laws about state lines and all of that stuff. But, you know, we're still all citizens. You know.
Yeah, this is that great city, as told in Revelations, man. This is Esau, man, and his works, man.
Yeah, Khan, man.
You know,
because you think about it, why it calls it a city. If you look all the way up at America, you look at like a nighttime view, like orbit of Earth. Let me see images. See if I can find one real quick. So you see it right here, man. This is angles and stuff that John the Revelator saw, man. So even though this is a big giant country, You
Still
know,
look
it
like a
looks
city.
like one
Yeah.
big city. Because if you would look down on like Jerusalem, you would see these lights will look like a bunch of houses, but instead of these being houses, these are neighborhoods and cities and you know what you might call it. That's how it looked. You know, when you look down on America, it looks like one big city. You know,
Hmm.
and America's fucked, man. You know,
Con, bro.
so that's all the precepts I had. I had anything else?
Hey, I just want to finish off Isaiah 47 verse 3 because,
Okay,
like I
Con.
said, you damn devils are through, man. All the atrocity you've done to the nation of Israel, it's gonna come back, man. This is Isaiah chapter 47 verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and will not meet thee as a man. So yeah, when Hawashai comes back, he's not gonna come back as that lowly meek man. He's gonna come back with
Mhm.
angelic powers. Then he's gonna come and fuck this place up.
That's right.
All right.
That's
So
right.
that's what I got, man.
Con, man. So this is coming, man, you know. So we hope y'all brothers were edified, you know. I'm gonna say call hello Yahweh by Shemi
Yahweh,
Hawah Shai, by
Shai,
Shemer
Shem,
Kakwadash.
Kakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, Barakatham, Wa Abba Babal. Shalom.
Abad the ball, Shalom.